नन्हे से कदम लेकर जब आए पहली बार, नन्हे से कदम लेकर जब आए पहली बार, थामी हमारी उंगली उस टीचर को हमारा प्यार।
तो बोलो गुरु ब्रह्मा गुरु विष्णु गुरुदेवो महेश्वरा, गुरु साक्षात् परब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः।
मुश्किल राहों पर गिरते उठते और संभलते हैं, हम थक भी जाए पर देखो वो कभी न थकते हैं। वो टीचर ही तो है जो हमारे साथ चलते हैं, हमारे साथ चलते हैं।
तो बोलो गुरु ब्रह्मा गुरु विष्णु गुरुदेवो महेश्वरा, गुरु साक्षात् परब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः।
है आग हमारे अंदर पर वो ज्योत जलाते हैं, फिर प्रेम और श्रद्धा से नया विश्वास जगाते हैं। वो टीचर ही तो है जो सच्ची राह दिखाते हैं, सच्ची राह दिखाते हैं।
तो बोलो गुरु ब्रह्मा गुरु विष्णु गुरुदेवो महेश्वरा, गुरु साक्षात् परब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः।
नन्हे से कदम लेकर जब आए पहली बार, नन्हे से कदम लेकर जब आए पहली बार, थामी हमारी उंगली उस टीचर को हमारा प्यार। नन्हे से कदम लेकर जब आए पहली बार, नन्हे से कदम लेकर जब आए पहली बार, थामी हमारी उंगली उस टीचर को हमारा प्यार।
तो बोलो गुरु ब्रह्मा गुरु विष्णु गुरुदेवो महेश्वरा, गुरु साक्षात् परब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। मुश्किल राहों पर गिरते उठते और संभलते हैं, हम थक भी जाए पर देखो वो कभी न थकते हैं। वो टीचर ही तो है जो हमारे साथ चलते हैं, हमारे साथ चलते हैं। तो बोलो गुरु ब्रह्मा गुरु विष्णु गुरुदेवो महेश्वरा, गुरु साक्षात् परब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः।
है आग हमारे अंदर पर वो ज्योत जलाते हैं, फिर प्रेम और श्रद्धा से नया विश्वास जगाते हैं। वो टीचर ही तो है जो सच्ची राह दिखाते हैं, सच्ची राह दिखाते हैं।
तो बोलो गुरु ब्रह्मा गुरु विष्णु गुरुदेवो महेश्वरा, गुरु साक्षात् परब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः।
Immense delight to welcome you all on this happy occasion of celebrating Teachers' Day, where we have gathered to share our gratitude for those who have made us today what we are. I welcome our respected Chairman, Reverend Father Shobhan Baby, Vice Chairman, Mr. K.P. Abraham, Reverend Father Jason Joseph, Treasurer Mr. Shaji Paul, and the members of the Managing Committee. I also welcome principals of both the St. Paul Schools, Ayanagar and Hoskas, Ms. Tilaka Benjamin and Mr. Reggie Oman. And a hearty welcome to our Vice Principal too, Ms. Sunita Shaji. I also extend my warm welcome to our colleagues from St. Paul School, Ayanagar and Hoskas, both the teaching and non-teaching staff. Yes, it's a day to acknowledge the immeasurable efforts made by the teachers for their students in countless ways. Teachers, the ones who know how to cultivate the seeds of curiosity and harvest the grains of excellence, which inspire everyone. We thank them all for guiding us. I wish you all a very happy Teachers' Day. May the spark of knowledge keep gleaming in our hearts, which light the lamp of learning in the life of so many children. Albert Einstein, who was an inspiration for Dr. Radhakrishnan in his life, said, and I quote, "I never teach my pupils, I only attempt to provide the conditions in which they can learn." Let's begin the celebration. I request Reverend Father Shobhan Baby, along with all the dignitaries, to kindly proceed for the lighting of the lamp. I also invite Professor Rajni Paranjpe to grace the occasion virtually.
Thank you, everyone. Now, I request our chairman to bless the gathering.
Good afternoon, everybody. Reverend Father Jason Joseph, Sri K.P. Abraham, Vice Chairman, Sri Shaji Paul, our Treasurer, Sri Raju Thomas, Sri Reggie Oman, Principal St. Paul's Hoskas, Mrs. Dr. Tilaka, Principal Paul's Ayanagar, teachers and non-teaching staff, office staff from both Hoskas and Ayanagar School. Greetings to you all. It gives me immense pleasure to greet and wish you on this Teachers' Day on behalf of the management of St. Paul's family. Today, our two schools are sharing love together on this occasion. We celebrate Teachers' Day because we value you and deeply appreciate your commitment to teaching and to the children of our institution. Teaching is one of the noblest professions in the world. I personally believe there is no substitute to quality education because it helps in changing the lives of thousands of individuals and their families forever. As one looks at the great impact on the growth, development, and well-being of the students and nation, one must agree that teaching is a noble profession. There is a saying that teachers are greater than the parents. Parents give birth to a child, whereas teachers mold that child's personality and provide a bright future. Apart from academics, teachers stand by them at every step to guide, motivate, and inspire them to become better humans. They are the source of knowledge and wisdom. From you leads the ideas and thoughts that one day each one of them will use to give back to this society. Every student has a story of a teacher who made a difference in their life. A teacher who went above and beyond to nurture their potential. It's these teachers who leave an indelible mark on our hearts and minds. They are the ones who make learning not just a process but a journey of discovery, curiosity, and wonder. I wish to take this opportunity to thank you for your invaluable contribution to the institution, St. Paul's family, over the years. Once again, I would like to wish each one of you a happy Teachers' Day. Now let me introduce you to today's chief guest, Mrs. Rajni Thai, Director of Doorstep School. Madam, we are amazed by your work in the field of education. Your virtual presence and message is a blessing to us. Wishing you all goodness and blessings on this day and forever. Our sincere gratitude to our leaders, Sri Rajiv Woman and Mrs. Dr. Tilga Benjamin, for guiding us in a good way. Dear teachers, you will get a nice Teachers' Day gift very soon. Not today. Sorry for the inconvenience. May God bless you all with the strength to achieve greater personal and professional growth in the years to come. Once again, happy Teachers' Day. May God bless you. Thank you.
Thank you, Father, for your inspiration words. Now, I would like to invite respected Principal Sir to welcome the gathering.
the outset, I wish all of you a pleasant and a happy good afternoon, and wish you all a happy Teachers' Day. Respected Chairman, Reverend Father Shoban Devi, Reverend Father Jason Joseph, the Vice Chairman, the members of the School Managing Committee, my colleague and friend, Mrs. Tilaga Madam, the Vice Principal, teachers and staff from St. Paul School, Ayanagar, teachers and staff from St. Paul School, Hauskas, and all present here. Today, when we have gathered here to celebrate this day, it is not just a mere celebration, but as rightly the chairman said, it's an occasion to honor each of you, each one of you, for the contributions you are making to the society. And that is the main importance of celebrating this day. Today, when we are celebrating this function, we remember two great personalities. One, Dr. Sarvepalli Radhakrishnan, on whose name the Teachers' Day is being celebrated. On the other occasion, the morning as I was addressing to the students, we remember the contribution of another teacher, Mother Teresa, whose death anniversary has been celebrated today. And above all, we have a living personality with us as the chief guest of this day. Thank you, Madam, for accepting my invitation. It's an honor for you to be with us. Before coming to the profile of the keynote speaker and the resource person and the personality beyond that one, let me briefly introduce us. I had my first interaction with Madam when I was in Indian School, Muscat. We used to conduct a program where the personalities used to interact with the principals and the teachers. And when it was my turn to conduct a function, and the function we named it as was Christian Das Glinth, G-L-I-N-T-H. I was searching for a personality who can address the education sector, the educators. After doing a lot of thinking and research work, I could identify a personality, and when I contacted Madam, she readily accepted it. And she had an interaction with the principals of the 21 schools there, the teachers and the staff. So on behalf of each one of you present here, I take this opportunity to welcome the chief guest and the keynote speaker of the today's function, Professor Mrs. Rajni Paranjpe. Her brief profile reads as follows. Born in 1936, Ms. Rajni Paranjpe got married in 1955 and completed her graduation in 1956. After that, she was a full-time homemaker till the year 1970, when she joined the College of Social Work, University of Bombay, to do her Masters in Social Work. In 1972, after completing the course, she worked in the field work and research projects of the schools till she joined the institute as a lecturer in research methodology and Indian social problems in 1976. Later on, she headed the research department of the College of Social Work till 1988. Her experience as lecturer cum fieldwork education, fieldwork supervisor and research guide led her to start the NGO Doorstep Schools to take the education to the doorstep of the children from underprivileged backgrounds, with one of her students as co-founder and few of her colleagues as the trustees. That was in Mumbai in the year 1988-89. As one of her numerous contributions in the field of education and teaching through Doorstep Schools, Professor Mrs. Paranjpi has authored and co-authored 40 graded learning books, including a Marathi picture dictionary for primary school children, which was the first of its kind in the education sector. Professor Mrs. Rajini Paranjpi has been recognized for her contributions in the field of non-formal education, and she has received numerous awards for it. While reading out this profile, what I would like to emphasize is the Doorstep School goes everywhere, wherever the children are. And that is why it is so important. I repeat it, the Doorstep Schools goes wherever the children are. And that is why it is so important. Once again, Madam, we welcome you to this gathering and thanking you for accepting my invitation. More than the profile, when interact with her, you will come to know the work and the contribution that she is doing it for the society as an educator, as a social worker, as a mother, as a caretaker of the children of the underprivileged sections. You will be amazed with the things. Now, just to brief out my talk with you, this year for the teachers of St. Paul School, I have decided that the Teachers' Day should not be just an occasion for celebration, but it should be something that we carry out through the entire academic session till we meet next time. And so I thought of having a theme for the teachers for this year, and the theme which I have proposed for them was cultivating curiosity and inspiring excellence. When I say cultivating curiosity and inspiring excellence, it has got a wider scope. Cultivating curiosity starts with nurturing of learning, explorations, and everything that is related. And when I say inspiring for excellence, it is the other side, motivating an individual, motivating a student to reach the greater heights in their pursuit for excellence. Now, before I conclude, let me tell you what is more important is to remain as a contemporary teacher. And to be a contemporary teacher, we need to update ourselves with the happenings around the world. Some 75, 76 years before, if you look into the statistics, you will find that knowledge explosion was happening sometimes in 25 years of a time. Now the scenario has changed. From 25 years, it has shortened itself as 1 year. And the very recent report says that knowledge is changing in every 12 hours. And as educators, when we celebrate this day, it becomes a moral responsibility on our part to be a contemporary teacher and to equip ourselves with the knowledge explosion that is happening around us. With this, let me conclude my talk and once again wishing you all a happy Teachers' Day. At the same time, once again I welcome the chief guest of the day. Thank you all.
Thank you so much, sir, for your words of wisdom. Now, I would like to invite Ilka Ma'am, Principal of St. Paul's School, Ayanagar, to address the gathering.
This was a curveball. Reverend Father Chair, Reverend Father Wisdom Director, the Vice Chairman, Sir, the Treasurer, Sir, and member of the Managing Committee, respected Principal, Sir, Vice Principal, Ma'am, and all dear teachers and colleagues, and a very warm good afternoon to our chief guest who is present virtually. As I start, I'd like to wish all of us gathered here a very happy and blessed Teachers' Day. Teachers' Day means a lot of things together. Us, because all of us have gone through schooling. We would have had our own experiences as students and now as teachers. But I just want to say the crux of living a teacher's life is that about handling children. Children who are young and children who are being entrusted in our care. We talk about 21st century skills. We talk about modern methods of teaching, innovational standards, and so on. But in everything, irrespective of what the changes that are taking place, one thing continues from the time the word schooling has started is about our care for the children entrusted to us. There's only one question I'd like to ask myself and to all of us. Are we child-centric in our education that we impart to our children? Are we child-centric? It's a question we need to ask ourselves. Syllabus gets completed, question papers are made, answer sheets are done, mark sheets are prepared. Result analysis, my teachers will be able to say, I'm passionate about it. Result analysis, I pour over it with my teachers. Everything is there. And the excellent results. But every year, how many lives are we actually touching? By being a role model, leading by example, teaching beyond textbooks. How many lives are we really touching? That is all that really matters. Are we getting a smile on a child's face on his or a difficult day? Are we able to hold the child's hand and walk in the most difficult moments that he or she is going through at home, in school? Are they able to come to us when they need someone? Not as the principal, not as the class teacher, not as the subject teacher. Are they able, are we there for these children? Watch them grow, to keep them on. If we are able to do that, then with pride and confidence, I can say we are doing it. My humble request to all of us here, teaching and non-teaching staff, let us not only open our minds, let us open our hearts, because we are dealing with life, not with a file. It is the same letters of the English alphabet, but then there is a difference between life and a file. And I also want to encourage all of us. We are doing. In our own ways, we are all doing. But a conscious thought, a random act of kindness will make the entire system move a long way. As Reggie sir said, a theme for all teachers. I would like to take his theme forward for Ayanagar teachers. But I would also ask each teacher and each staff gathered here, ask yourself, contemplate, reflect, and come up with your own theme. What do you want to do this year, starting from September 5, 2023? As for me, I consciously open my heart, not my mind, that is always open. Consciously open my heart for all those children who are in need, whose problems for us may not be big, but for them it is just way beyond their own comprehension. Starting with me, this is how I would like to take 1st September 2023 forward, and I invite all of you to create your own place for a child-centric education to be offered to the young ones entrusted in our care. Even as I sign off, I just want to tell Reggie Uman sir and the chairman, I always thought this is how Teachers' Day should be. This has been my dream Teachers' Day, where teachers would be sitting in a seminar, listening to pearls of wisdom from an experienced and a wonderful and renowned educationist like Ms. Paranjbai. Thank you. Have a blessed day.
Thank you so very much, ma'am, for your thoughtful words. Now, our chief guest of the day, Professor Rajni Pranjpe will address the gathering on the topic Cultivating Curiosity, Inspiring Excellence, followed by an interactive session.
केला मी आणले तुम्हाला This is right. Yeah. Liquid antibiotics. त्यांनी विचारलं मॅडम यू लेफ्ट त्यांनी विचारलं तुम्ही लेफ्ट केली का मीटिंग आता आहे मध्ये
एक मिनिट
आता आहे
माणूस झालं की मॅम हो करली ना असं बंद कर दिली ना
Ma'am, Sonal here. I think you can begin.
ओके
Yeah. Everybody is waiting. Yes.
ओके
Yeah.
चला स्टार्ट पण गेलं ते पुन्हा
Hi, ma'am. We can see you. You can start.
Yeah, okay. Sorry for the internet problem. I'm not able to see anybody, but if you are able to hear, I will start. Just 1 minute. Are you able to hear me?
Yes, ma'am. You are clear.
Yeah. So, respected chairman sir and management committee members and the principals of both the schools and all the teachers. Today is the Teachers' Day, so I start with wishing you all very happy and Teachers' Day and good year ahead of you. Today I am here and I do not know, means when I have seen you all and the gathering which is there, I am really not very sure what I am going to talk. And I'm here and I am feeling very honored that I was invited for sharing my experiences with you and sharing with you what I am doing and the activities we are doing. As you all know, the Doorstep School Society we have started in 1988-89. A long journey since then, nearly 35 years. And it was started in Mumbai. Then in 1993, we have also started a branch in Pune. And since then, we are working in both the cities, Mumbai and Pune. And most of our work is based in Pune and Mumbai cities only. So when Doorstep School was started, in our country, I can say, 3 major problems our public schools, primary schools were mainly facing, and they were non-enrollment in schools. So many children were not getting only in schools, not getting enrolled. Then there were high rate of dropouts in first grade or second grade itself. So even if they got enrolled, it was as good as not getting enrolled, and the stagnation. So the three major problems, non-enrollment, wastage and stagnation, were there. And also at that time government was focusing very much on adult education. And we at the College of Social Work, we were working in schools, corporation schools, with the help of our students, and and our students used to go to corporation schools, go and visit the children if they drop out, bring them books, run book banks and all that. And with that experience, we realized that there is a lot of work that needs to be done, and lot many children are out of school or they drop out early and they are not getting education. And this is in the cities like Bombay. And our college was also situated in South Bombay near Churchgate, and we have started our work in Kapparad area. So in the most posh area, I can say, or where well-educated people were staying, where also the government seat was there, Sachivalaya, Mantralaya was there, Vidhan Sabha was also there, and still there were so many children around who were not even attending school or not even enrolled in school. So we decided to start an organization, because working only with the help of students doesn't really work well, because students go on leave, students are changing every year, and the kind of work we need to do needs regularity, punctuality and all such things. So we decided to start an organization, and our experience also showed us at that time that so many children are there who are not able to stay away from home for 8 hours long, which is the school running hours, at least 6 hours a day and all that. So we decided that we will reach out to these children wherever they are, even if they are staying on footpaths or any shanty colonies and communities and things like that. We will reach out to them, we will go there and teach them. And also, means we were not running a parallel, there was no intention of running a parallel school or anything. The intention was to enroll all the children in school at the age of 6, and we decided with 4 kind of programs to address the 3 problems which we had in front of us, that is non-enrollment, wastage and stagnation of the children. So we started and our target group was 3 to 14 year age group. We didn't include adults in our group, because even if adult education was very much focused at that time, we realized that teaching adults was far more difficult than teaching children. And if our resources are limited, it is better to invest them in children than on the adults. So we decided to take 3 to 14 year age group and started with 4 services. One was for 3 to 6 year old children, pre-primary education centers, because in those days Anganwadis or ICDS centers were not in cities, they were only in tribal. And I'm talking about very, very long time, like 30 years back or 32 years back. Many of you may be just in schools at that time, or some of you may not have been even born, I don't know. So it is like that. So there, Balwadis we started. We decided to start a Balwadi for 3 to 6 year old children. 6 plus, we said we will enroll them in school. And in those days, enrolling in school was not easy in a way, because although admissions were open and the schools were free and education was free and everything was there, the documents which were required, mainly birth certificates or age certificates and all that, the parents did not have with them, and we have to help them get those documents and other things also. But 6 plus children, we enrolled them in school and ran study classes for them. So after school hours, we used to teach them whatever they have learned in school. Third thing we had was literacy classes. literacy classes, because the community, any community, if we enter, all the children are not going to be below 6 or 6 plus or something. Some children will be 12-year-old, 10-year-old, 8-year-old, and there was no rule in those days like as it is today, age appropriate admissions in schools, classes, grades. So we decided that we will run literacy classes for them, because these children, getting them admission in first grade was of no use practically. So we had literacy classes for them. And at that time, by literacy means general understanding of the word literacy is like being able to sign one's name, whereas we defined this thing that we will teach a child, means that being able to read a newspaper in the language we teach a child is literacy. So literacy classes for those children so that they don't remain adult illiterate. And fourth service was running library centers in slums, because if we have to teach the children and if they have to read and write properly, which is the base for foundation rather for further studies, and which children are not able to do, if they are not able to do well, naturally stagnation is going to take place, and if they are stagnated, they drop out. So this kind of vicious cycle is there, and for which basic requirement is teaching them how to read and write well. And since reading is a skill, practice is required for that, and that practice can be done only through reading books. And the books were not available naturally, as it is in India. There are not so many children's libraries available outside or anything. Schools also, means public schools also have books, but hardly given to children to take home and other things. So we decided to run libraries in slums itself, and lending libraries. Children used to take. So children used to take books home and read and all those things. So these were the 4 services we started our work with 50 children in 1988-89, and are doing the same thing almost today also, which we never imagined at that time. I never thought I will be working on this for 35 years, and still there will be such a big need remaining. So many children out of school, means not on paper out of school, but in practically they are out of school because they don't know reading and writing well, and that of course we will talk about later. So when we started in our this thing and started the schools and started it in Cup Parade slum and with 50 children, and we are growing now and grown a lot. You can see like last year we have reached out to 70,000 children merely in the city of Pune and around area. And work is, of course, we do these 4 services today and do much more. But let me tell you how and what was the plan, and it was how we have worked so many years, and on what basis we are running the schools and all that. The first thing we have decided was that we will not distribute any sweets or things like that or clothes or things like to children, so that they come to our classes. We decided not to distribute anything, only give them learning material, whatever necessary, free of charge, and teach them free of charge. If necessary, we have even provided school transport to children, because schools are close by. Children can walk also. But 6-year-old child in the traffic that the cities have, going to school every day alone, parents do not feel safe enough, and they feel okay, child is still young, and we'll let the child grow a little bit, then we can put the child in school. And that is how the schooling gets delayed. And once it is delayed, child gets used to roaming around here, there without going to school. And at the age of 8, if we admit a child in school, the child doesn't get used to school routine and drops out. So school transport is one of the very essential and necessary services, which also wherever necessary we provide free, but otherwise we don't give anything free or distribute anything free. And the reason behind it is we want to teach children not to accept anything free of cost, and without working for it, don't get things free, and develop self-respect in them. So with that idea we have been working, and we have been working till today with that. And let me tell you, okay, first our teachers used to feel that something needs to be given, some sweets need to be given, little things should be given so that the children will come. But the experience over all these years does not show that. Even if we don't give anything to children, they do come to our classes, because what we give is we teach them, and we give them respect also, and we teach them well. So that is one thing we have decided. Second thing we have decided was that our teachers should be paid teachers. The salaries are very low, but everybody is paid, because teaching or learning needs regularity and punctuality, and that cannot be expected of volunteers for a prolonged period of time, day in and day out, and till the child is learning and other things. So a paid worker is what we always had and still we have, but they are not very highly educated teachers as such. And we have a training center, and we train them. And what we will focus on, our focus of teaching is mainly on giving them foundational literacy and numeracy skills. Basic reading, writing skills and basic numeracy skills if a child has, then only the child can progress in school. So that is where we focus very much, and our teachers are trained in doing that work well. Thirdly thing we decided was that we will teach children this much, and whatever extra work needs to be done, like whatever you said, whatever extra work, like when the child is progressing, then the volunteers can help them. So we need volunteers also, and we have paid workers also, and both of them are working very well in the organization. Then what was the main problem was how to, like these children, even if they don't continue in school, they should learn something. And experience shows they do learn very well. You get children, I very often come across, talk to the teachers of public schools and all that, and they often feel because the children have no parent support at home, they are not learning, and which is a fact. So it is the fourth thing was libraries, which is we are doing. And now after a while, as we are working, one more thing we have been doing very, this thing is maintaining records of children's progress and the work we are doing, and whatever are the results by whatever methodology we are using and all that. And depending on that, new programs and new services we have started. For example, we have started the libraries in schools, in communities. The idea was that children will come and take the books, and if they read the books, they will get the practice of reading. But when actually the library was started, children also started coming and taking the books. But the kind of children who would come, who would have already known reading, those children who were learning reading did not come to take books from the libraries which we are running. So we realized that running libraries in schools does not really serves the purpose for which we have started the libraries. Libraries are useful, and those we are still running in communities as well, but we have started running libraries in schools also with the permission of corporation schools, because corporation schools in their timetable have 2 periods, 35 minutes each per week for additional reading. But actual additional reading takes place is hardly possible or hardly taken. So we have approached the corporation and asked them the permission to take that 35-minute slots, like 70 minutes per week slot from the corporation, and they got their permission to send our teachers there and give the additional reading books and other things to children so that we can run the library there. While doing that, when we came across a large number of children, because schools have the infrastructure, schools have the students also, schools have everything. So the number of children have increased. But we realized that children are not able to read. The books in Marathi, means in Pune and Mumbai. Mumbai we teach children in Hindi, and in Pune we teach them in Marathi. So when we are doing it, we realize the large number of books are there, children's books are there, but very few graded learning books are in our language, in Marathi or in Hindi also. Graded learning is not focused, and therefore the children, means if full-fledged book if we give them, they are not able to read. So that is how we started to develop the books for children, and through our experiences we have developed many books which are for graded learning and all those things. So for that we have now, while doing this and while working in the slums, the problem came, like suppose we were working in Bombay, and Bombay we were even running classes on pavements and other things. But the areas such as railway stations and area like marketplaces and all that, and in those days child labor was quite prevalent. So many children would work in the areas like with marketplaces as coolies and other things. But there was no place to take a class for them or run any centers there, because they were on the streets only and they were not staying there. They would, in the evening, they will be scattered everywhere from wherever they are. So came the idea of the school on wheels bus. Means we thought if we take a bus there, and if a vehicle is there, we can park it there and children can be gathered in it, and for a couple of hours we can teach them there. So School on Wheels buses started in 1999. Means 10 years it took for us to think about it and get a bus and get started the program. But it has started and it has worked also well, and today we are running some 15 such buses in Mumbai and Pune area. So that was useful because 2 hours children can gather there and learn, and then we were even able to enroll some of those children in school, and their education has started. So the School on Wheels buses started like that. Project Grow with Books, which is the project which is running in schools, started like it, and today we are running more and more programs, and couple of programs I would like to describe here is parents' participation in children's education. While working with the children, although in social work theory we have learned it is very important to work with the community to get participation of this and that, and the community and the parents and all that. Actually we thought it is like teaching children what is there, we gather children and teach them. But finally we realized that unless the parents' support is there, teaching doesn't take place properly. And even if the parents are not educated, they have to pay attention to their children's education, and we have to teach them their role as a parent of a child, school-going child. We all know our own children and the children which you are teaching. So much investment of time, means money we leave aside, but even time the parents do in child's education for so many years, then only child learns. It is not only the school which is teaching him, it is the parents are also participating in it. And the parents with whom initially they were now last 30 years, the profile has changed a little bit. Earlier it used to be all our first generation learner children only we were dealing with, whereas now the parents are like little bit educated, have seen the schools and other things. Not that all are the first generation learner children, but even then, they don't have a role model. They don't know what needs to be done. They feel, okay, if we have put them in school, they are in school, so they will learn. And therefore, and they have no time and other things are there, but mainly they don't have knowledge. They don't have information and what needs to be done and how it can be done. So working with parents has become very, very essential part of our work, and we are working with them. And experience shows, because our one of the learnings, if all these years if we had, is we always feel the educated class people or people like us, we always feel that these parents are not interested in education. They are only interested in sending a child for working and earning money from that. But that is not the experience. Experience is different. Parents are definitely interested in children's education and they do help them. But the conditions are such that they cannot. I can narrate an example is like we were working here in Pune. And as I told you earlier, we needed to do the birth certificates and birth certificates, of course, you cannot get. But age certificates we used to get there from corporation dispensaries. If we take a child, and doctors used to certify looking at his teeth and all that, like this old child is 6 years plus or whatever. So while doing that, one of the persons, very in age also old and illiterate, but from that community, approached us and asked us if I am here a guest, I stay somewhere else, but the similar kind of community and my people are there. Will you come there and help us getting the birth certificates or whatever certificates you are getting for getting admission in school? Then we would like to send our children to school. So they don't have the information, they don't have the access to, and also the kind of behavior and reception they get from us in schools is so different that nobody means, even if they want to, very few go there and do it. So parents' education is one of the very important aspect in our this thing. And now, while doing that, while working with this, we realized, means in the city of Pune, we could see in around 2000 or 2001 or 2, we could see so many constructions are coming up and so many children are there on construction sites which are not going to school. And of course, Mobile Creches is one of the organizations which was started in Delhi itself and who worked with construction laborers children, and their branches were also there in Mumbai and Pune. But we had never thought of working for that group of children. But when their number started increasing, we decided to conduct a survey in the city of Pune, and we got a list of the constructions which were going there from the corporation. There were about 1500 odd number of constructions were going on at that time. That was in the 2003 or something. And we had a survey, quick survey, and surveyed but it was a proper sample survey we have done. Some 340 sites we have covered, and on those sites we could find nearly 4,500 children in the age group of 5 and 15 on the construction locations who were not attending schools. Which meant if there were 1,500 constructions were going on, extrapolating the figures, nearly 20,000 children of school going age were out of school only in the city of Pune and only on the construction locations. And that was in the year 2003, when the year 2000 was considered like we will have, everybody will be in school and everybody literate. It was announced also. The year 2000 is the year when everybody will be there. But this was the case in 2003. So we've changed the focus from the slums communities which were established because there were so many organizations which work for education and slum children's education and other things, whereas for migrant laborers there are very few organizations which are working, and therefore we started working and focusing on construction locations. Then we focus sugarcane workers, bricklaying workers and other things. Means we are now currently our focus is mainly on migrant laborers, and that is while we are doing it, it is very another thing which happened with us is like we realize children are going, children do not stay with us. The average child stays with us for 6 months and not more than that. Means average child on construction site or on sugarcane workers children are with us for 6 months. So how to give them something which they will take with them and which will be helpful for them, so that teaching has to be such, we have to do something so that they learn to read and write in that 6 months period. And we tried different ways, different methodologies. Means method of teaching is not different as much, but teaching aids we prepared and the timetable we prepared. And now after some time we came out with the figure like in 120 instruction hours. In 120 instruction hours, we could teach a child Devanagari script fully, which is the script for 3 languages in India, which is in Marathi, which is the language of the state of Maharashtra. Then Hindi, which is our Rashtriya Bhasha, so the Hindi and Sanskrit. So Devanagari script, if you have to teach a child from the beginning till end, so that he should be able to read a newspaper. And I'm again and again saying read a newspaper, which may not be possible for in Roman script, but which is possible in Devanagari script because it is meant to be like that. Whichever way you talk, you write it that way and you can pronounce the words like that. So reading is means we divided it in 3 this thing. We divided means we could see that there are 3 levels at which the child has to learn. One is alphabets, another is matras, and third is jodaksharas. And this can be done in 120 instruction hours. So if 120 instruction hours, when we say 1 hour every day, then it takes about 6 months because 5 days a week, which means 20 hours per month and 120 hours in 6 months. So that is what we are now using, the methodology, the teaching aids and other things, and we have been very successful in that. Any child, even if Marathi or Hindi is not their mother tongue, they can learn this easily and they can and they master this because children learn languages far easily than adults do. So that is what we are doing now. And means over a period of time, 30 years have gone while doing all this experimenting and all that. And today we are faced with very, very big problem. Actually, there is no problem of enrollment remaining anymore. They started with enrollment, problem of enrollment and getting documents done and all that. That problem is fully gone almost. We hardly find children who are never enrolled in school. They are always enrolled in school. Whether they are attending school or no is a problem, but enrolled most of the children are today. Whereas dropout rate means the problem only has solved by the methodology by which we are promoting children every year, and children are going from first grade to second grade and third grade until the 8th grade. But problem of stagnation has taken a very, very severe proportion and severe problem it has become, and it is even more serious a problem because one gets the impression that I'm getting education, and no education is taking place. And parents are not aware what is happening. They feel that the child is getting promoted every year, and now he is in fifth standard and sixth standard and eighth standard and 10th standard also. But the fact is, and it is, I have got many statistics with which we are working, but even nationally known statistics, which is Pratham surveys, Asar surveys every year, are saying the same thing. And after the COVID, it has happened even more severe problem, and that problem is of knowing getting foundational literacy in any of the local language, whichever that is there. And that is a serious problem now, which we want to address. And how severe it is really beyond imagination. But let me tell you, this year, when the school started, corporation schools, we are working in 127 schools in the city of Pune, Pimpri-Chinchwad and around Jilla Parishad schools for our reading class program. We are working for that. But this year, means every year, we give them some reading ability test. Every year, before we start with working with them, we give every child a reading ability test to know which books that child can read, how the child is progressing, and how which books we should be giving that child and other things. This year, some 21,000 children from first grade to first grade to fourth grade, we gave, not first grade, second grade to fourth grade, we gave this reading ability test. And you will be surprised to know that of course, in second grade, not even 5% children are able to read properly. Whereas, if you see their first grade book, which is prescribed for them in the Marathi language, which they know, only script is to be learned. Nothing they have to learn new. But even then, they have not learned that language, because the first grade book itself has all the alphabets, all the matras, and the jodaksharas also. So the child is expected, all 100% children are expected to read all that in the first grade itself. Whereas in the second grade, only 5% children are able to read, but that is okay. In the third grade, they are able to read. How many of them are able to read? Let me tell you. In the third grade, there are only 17% of the children who are able to read, and in the fourth grade, the percentage has gone only 21 or something. Because once the first standard is over, nobody teaches alphabets again. Nobody goes back to that. So whatever the child learns on its own, it learns, otherwise it is like that. And this is only, we have given for 21,000 children are covered, nothing less. Means from the 127 schools, there were 27,000 children, out of which we could cover 21,000 children under this test which is there, which is very, very simple test. Read all alphabets, read all matra words, read the jodakshara types words and all that. And we divide the children on these groups and take their classes and all that. And there is a big demand for our teachers who are only 10th and 12th standard pass and taken the training of teaching this foundational literacy and numeracy. There is a big demand from schools. Send your teachers and take the classes of our children and teach them. Last year I have got a request from a school teacher. I have 47 standard children who are not able to read and write at all. Please send somebody, send your person who will teach them, because once they pass the 7th standard, nobody will pay any attention to them. So that is the condition today. It is not any exaggeration. Even the private schools which are teaching this subject, the children are not able to read properly. And this is till 4th standard I have given you. But I have seen, and I have been teaching also, my teachers are teaching also, 7th, 8th, 9th standard grade children also, just to read and write, nothing more. So that is very, very severe problem. And after COVID, it has even become more severe, because for 2 years there was no education, and the children were promoted to 3rd grade, 4th grade, and whatever grade. So that problem, I don't know how it is going to be solved, how it is to be. We are doing it, but what is ours? Ours is only darya mein khaskhas. Itna hi hota hai. Means it may look we have reached out to so many children. During COVID, we have decided that we will, our teachers cannot go out much. So they will take classes within their communities only, in their own house, and things like that. And in that 4 months, last 4 months of COVID, before the school started, we have had the survey of this kind, and we could identify 28,000 children. 28,000 children who were not able to read, age group anything, 7th standard, 8th standard, and other things. And we enrolled them in our classes. 6,000 hardly ever attended, 22,000 were attending, and out of which, when the school started in April, about 10,000 were able to read properly. But remaining, nothing. Means they could not read properly, and if there is no practice after having learned how to read, they will forget whatever they have learned. So that is a major problem, and that is how we are now focusing on. Fortunately, new education policy is also focusing on foundational literacy and numeracy skills. But I don't understand what kind of policies people make. If your first grade book requires for a child to read full sentence, all alphabets, all matras and all jodaksharas, why do you require 3 years to learn that? And how can you give 3 years? How can you allow 3 years to learn it? Means in school itself, if you say okay, this is to be learned in 3 years, then who is going to learn and who is going to teach them? And at home there is nobody to look into it. And there are so many children after 75 years of at one this thing we are going on the moon, have gone on the moon actually, landed on the moon. But at the other end, this is a problem. This is a big problem in terms, it may look very small if we talk in percentages, but if numbers, if we see, it is a very, very big problem. So I don't know, we are practicing it, we are focusing on it, and of course attendance is a problem, and all those problems are there on which we are working with the parents and doing as much as we could do. But many people think, what is there to teach in reading and writing? Why to focus on it? If the child is going to school, that child will learn. So I want to say here, I want to show it to everybody, it is not the case. Unless the foundation is strong, the child will never learn. And that is what is one of the causes of dropping out of school. Another cause is that when we work with migrant laborers, we realize that the children, particularly children working on wheat bhattis and all that, really cannot go to school because their parents get up, even sugarcane workers, their parents get up at 3 o'clock. They go for work at 4 o'clock. At home means even if the child is not working, means he is not gainfully employed as such, at home the child has to stay looking after the house, looking after the siblings and all that. So does it mean that we leave them like that, or we have to develop some methods by which the children can also be studying, learning, wherever they are, we can reach out to them and do something for them. It may take a couple of generations also. Actually speaking, many people ask me, how many of your people, how many children you reach out to have done SSC, how many have gone to college? Some have gone, but percentage wise it is not very high. Number wise it is good because we reach out to large number of children. But percentage wise it is, but that is expected. That is expected because if we look at our own families. Look back, like first person who has learned from there, at least 3 generations it takes for a family to become a educated family as such. And by educated family, I define it myself like a family where a child is born, the question doesn't arise where the child will be going to school or not going to school. Child will be going to school is assumed and goes to school, and preparations are made these days even before the child's birth, like the child goes to school. So to attain that kind of status, educated family status, any family would take 3 years. But that doesn't mean that all the efforts which we are making have gone waste. One example, if we have to give, we have been working with street children and all that, begging on the street, at the signals and all that. Now we are working for 30 years. So those who were children at the beginning have grown up now and have got their own children. A couple of people met our teachers while moving here, there and all that. And they could recognize the teacher and talk to the teacher and all that. And the teacher asked them a question, what are you doing there? So that person replied, I am doing whatever I was doing. I am begging. I am not doing anything more. But I have kept my children in my village and they are studying. And that is the impact that we are expecting, that we are making, and that is for sure we are making. Other children who study further, who do better, they are of course exceptional children, most of them. The conditions are also exceptional, and sometimes it so happens, and we help them do it also. But the third generation also, if we say, now we are working for 30 years, so 2 generations we have touched, but no hopes are in sight. Really means I never felt I will be working for so many years. One thing, I used to think education is what? Work for 10 years. If everybody is working, all children are in school, and 10 years, with little experience of schooling, they send their children to school. The aspirations are there, the role models are there, and things are there, and the problem will be solved. When it is not getting solved, I think one of the problems is we do not look at this problem as our own problem. We are not aware of the expanse of the problem and the depth of it. And politically, no political party is interested in this problem. That's all. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Who has a question? Please come up.
Thank you, madam, for your wonderful interaction, sharing your experience. Well, I'm not here to ask a question. I would request your advice to our teachers, because you said parents' participation in the children's education, whether it is a slum area or a street children or any elite school, the problem remains the same. We do find the same thing of not having a full participation from the parents in their children's education. So, request your advice for our teachers on this matter. Thank you.
So, sorry, how can I advise your teachers on this matter? Because the kind of families they are dealing with are different than the kind of families we deal with. our families are, means it is your families are well educated, wealthy, and they are, I don't know what, but our families are really. But parents' education, parents' participation in children's education is a must. That much I can say definitely. I really cannot advise your teachers on this point because I don't know the kind of parents they have and the kind of children and their problems. Our problem used to be like a child goes home, but nobody looks at whether the child is studying or not. We have to give parents education in the sense, because many people, you must have observed also, all of us observe, because these poor people are in the habit of giving 5 rupees, 10 rupees in child's hand and tell him, okay, go and eat whatever you want. So we have to advise them, okay, if you cannot cook at home, because there are families who do not cook in the morning at home and only in the evening they cook. And if you want your child to eat whatever he can buy from outside, the kurkures, murmures and wafers and whatever, you buy it yourself, because in every slum, every small district, there is a small shop in which you can buy and hand it over to child. Don't give money to child in child's hand. Now, while we are doing it, some people do not like our advice like this. They say you should give them advice like for staple food, for good food you give, you cook something and you give. This is not a good food, this is a bad habit. That is correct. But we have to see what is possible and what is not possible. And why don't give money? Because if the child goes outside there are so many things that child can buy which are not good at all, and the bad habits child get into it. Also, there is a fear of child getting lost. So we have to explain to and the parents do not have time that we do. So we have to explain to them, whatever it is, you buy yourself and give it to your child, which is possible, which is not doable thing. But if we say you cook for your child every day morning and give the tiffin, it's not going to happen. Well, there are conditions when sometimes it happens that our girls go and call the children and bathe them and take to school, because nobody at home has got up, particularly if they are street children and all that. Early morning school, 7 o'clock schools or 8 o'clock school, they are not ready. So I'm really sorry, I won't be able to tell you that. But what we do is, like, we have the timetable that this week we are going to do. But these kind of suggestions are not going to be of any use. As you say, the person who is sleeping, you can wake that person up. The person who is already awake, nobody can wake. So the parents are so well educated and wealthy and their ideas are different. It is, I think, must be very difficult to deal with those parents. Our parents are, in a way, certainly easy to deal with.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for sharing your experience with us. And we all have so much to learn from you. Now, I will invite our friends from St. Paul's School, Ayanagar, to present a cultural extravaganza.
Hello, good afternoon all. Respected Chairman Reverend Father Yaakov Pedi, respected Resident Director Father Jason Joseph, respected Principal Hoskas Reggie Mensah, respected Principal Ayanagar Dr. Bernadette Tilaga Benjamin Ma'am, Vice Principal Hoskas Ms. Sunita Shaji, Coordinator Ayanagar Mrs. Gurmeet Seth, and our chief guest for today, Professor Mrs. Rajni Paranjpe, founder and president of Doorstep School. All the teaching and non-teaching staff, both of Hoskas and Ayanagar, as we have just crossed the occasion of Onam. So I hope you would all like to relish the memories of it We, the St. Paul's Iranagar staff, would like you all to relish those memories. So for that, we are going to present 2 items. So I call upon the participants of dance, followed by the participants of the song. Participants of the dance, you may please come on the floor. That was really an awesome performance. Now I call upon the participants of the song.
The song ते तरी नक्कीच ऐकायला पाहिजे.
नाही तर मग हे म्हणजे कानात हे देऊन
ऐकायचंय काय? तुझा
हे लावून घेते.
अजून आता राहील कोणाला
കുട്ടനാടൻ പുഞ്ചയിലെ കൊച്ചു പെണ്ണെ കോയിലാളെ കൊച്ചു വെള്ളം കൊച്ചു വെള്ളം കുട്ടനാടൻ പുഞ്ചയിലെ കൊച്ചു പെണ്ണെ കുയിലാളെ ഒട്ടുവെണ്ണം കൊണ്ടെണ്ണം തോരപ്പാടേണം
വേണം വിജയശാലികളായി മാറുന്നു ഞങ്ങൾ.
തെന്നൽ വന്നു വെഞ്ചാണ് വീശിത്തരുന്നു
That was a beautiful presentation. Please, once again, let's give them a big hand. Now, I would like to request teachers from Simple School Hostcast to present a small cultural program.
बिल्कुल बिल्कुल सर और पहुंचा ना आएंगे पहले चलाओ फिर आएंगे पहले आएंगे के बाद
Beautiful. Thank you, teachers, for the wonderful presentation. Please once again give them a big hand.
Before we go for the conclusion, we have with us a special guest, the banking partners of the school from the Federal Bank. I cordially invite Ms. Neha Yadav, the Associate Vice President, and her colleagues, Ms. Sakshi and Mr. Dinesh. They are coming here to felicitate teachers by presenting a token of love. But at this moment, it will take a lot of time. So I request Neha Yadav and the team to felicitate Reverend Father Shogun Devi, the chairman, and Reverend Father Jason Jacob, and to pass on the greetings to all the teachers. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. We are on the behalf of Federal Bank, Green Park branch, and as Sir has already introduced us, as your perfect banking partner. So we hope we'll live up to the perfection of what you expect us from. It was once said, God cannot be present everywhere. So he created two, parents and teachers. And then I believe even parents could not be present everywhere. So teachers were there to accompany us, and they play a pivotal role in developing the future of a student or maybe a child. On this occasion, we on behalf of Federal Bank Green Park branch wish you all a very happy Teachers' Day. Teaching is an art of changing lives. I believe in this thought thoroughly. Standing here today gives me nostalgia. When I remember in my school, we would have those fancy Teachers' Day celebrations, teachers all coming in the beautiful saris, in the beautiful attires, beautifully dressed up. We as students used to give them cakes and flowers and probably small cards made by us just to thank them. Maybe this was our way to thank you all for what we could not do in the classrooms, those mischiefs which we created in the class. We had a special regard for each one of you. Maybe that time we could not thank our teachers, and I think today I've been given this beautiful opportunity to thank all of them in front of you, and I'll be thanking all my teachers also once I thank all of you. So the child in me and the mother in me standing here today, thank you to each one of you for shaping me as an individual, and to thank you as teachers, because you all are going to be teachers of our children to shape them and make us what the beneficial are. Maybe we as parents are not able to at times recognize the special, special talent maybe which every child is blessed with, but you as teachers have that capacity to derive the best out of that child. So thank you to each one of you, and a very happy Teachers' Day. Thank you.
Thank you, Neha team, for coming here and felicitating the teachers. They have a cake cutting ceremony, but before the cake cutting ceremony, we have a small talent. Mr. Jibal Jacob, he has composed a song just now for the teachers. He want to enter that song. So I invite Jibal Jacob to present his song. After that, we'll have the cake cutting and then the vote of thanks and the conclusion program.
അനുപമ ജ്ഞാനത്തിൻ ദാഹവും പേറി ഗുരുസവിധം ശിഷ്യരണഞ്ഞിടുമ്പോൾ അറിവ് പകർന്നിടും ഉറവുകളായുവാൻ വിജ്ഞാന കലശങ്ങൾ നിറഞ്ഞിടണം. കാലികമായിടും ബോധങ്ങളാൽ സന്മതി പൂരിതമാക്കിടുവാൻ ശ്രേഷ്ഠ ഗുരുവരൻ സർവേശ്വരൻ പാദാന്തികെ പൂർണ്ണം സമർപ്പിക്കണം. വിദ്യയർത്ഥിപ്പവർ മനമതിയിൻ തമസ്സകറ്റിയിടുവാൻ ശോഭയേകാൻ ദേവകൃപാസ്തുത്യം പ്രാപ്യമാവാൻ ആശംസയോതിടുന്നേവർക്കുമായി ഗുരുദിന വാഴ്വുകൾ ഹൃദയ നിന്നും. ഹാപ്പി ടീച്ചേഴ്സ് ഡേ. അധ്യാപക ദിന ആശംസകൾ. താങ്ക് യു.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, everyone. Now, I would like to invite Vice Principal Ma'am to deliver a vote of thanks.
APJ Abdul Kalam once said, and I quote, "The purpose of education is to make good human beings with skill and expertise. All open-minded human beings can be created by teachers." A very good afternoon to everyone present here. At the outset, I would like to thank our chief guest and resource-based person, Professor Rajni Paranjpe, founder and president of the Doorstep Schools, addressing with us the wonderful theme cultivating curiosity and inspiring excellence. Ma'am Rajni has done a contribution to the society. While sharing her life's journey, what I understood is it was not at all an easy, smooth journey. She must have faced a lot of struggles in terms of getting basic resources and searching students. But it is her persistence, devotion, and passion kept her going and achieved this success today. I thank Ma'am Rajni Paranjpe for her kind words of experience and knowledge, and it was worth listening to. Ma'am, thank you so much on behalf of St. Paul's School fraternity. A warm and heartfelt gratitude to our Chairman, Reverend Father Shobin Baby, and Reverend Father Jason Joseph for standing as driving force behind us, providing everything possible to enhance our teaching skills. Thank you, Fathers. My heartfelt thanks also go out to the esteemed members of the management, Vice Chairman Shri K.P. Abraham, Shri Shaji Paul, Shri Raju Thomas, who have taken time out of their busy schedule to honor our beloved teachers. Also, our heartfelt thanks for the Teachers' Day gifts and sumptuous lunch you are arranging for us today. Thank you. I would like to thank the team or the guest from Federal Bank, Ms. Neha Yadav, Associate Vice President, Ms. Sakshi, and Mr. Dinesh. Thank you for being with us today and felicitating our teachers. I would like to thank Ma'am Tilaga Benjamin and Sir Rajiv Men, both teachers par excellence. Every day, we get to learn a lot from them like students. Their encouragement, timely advices, and ability to see the potential in us are the valuable gifts that leave an indelible mark on our lives. Thank you, sirs. Thank you, ma'am. Let us remember that teaching is not just a profession, it is a calling, a vocation that shapes destinies. Teachers face numerous challenges every day. Despite these challenges, they never lose their enthusiasm. Every small effort you make, every kind word you say, and every lesson you teach goes a long way in making a difference in the lives of young minds. If people remember us as a good teacher, that will be the biggest reward. So thank you, dear teachers of both Ayanagar and St. Paul's School, for your unwavering dedication, your tireless efforts, and your boundless love for educating the young minds of our great nation. And also, I thank you for your cultural, beautiful presentation here. Thank you so much. I would also like to thank the admin department and the support staff for everything. Without your service, we are actually incomplete. Thank you, everyone. Once again, happy Teachers' Day to all our esteemed teachers. Let us remember,
one book, one pen, one child, and one teacher can change the world. May you continue to inspire and enlighten the lives of many students to come. Thank you. May God bless us all. With this, we have come to the end of this function. Now I request everyone kind proceed to the new lobby for the lunch. Thank you and have a wonderful day.